you about the 2016 election in Utah. Let's get into it. So to start, I'm going to introduce by asking you guys a couple questions. What do you do when you're faced with two bad decisions with political candidacy, ones that you don't love? Or whose character flaw do you accept more than the other? Or whose policy do you agree with? Is that the way you go and when choosing? Is there another solution? Maybe. First, let me tell you about Donald Trump. He is our Republican candidate. And then on to Hillary Clinton, who is our Democratic candidate. Let me tell you guys about the facts, what we know. Donald Trump is a businessman. He's over his organization, the Trump Organization. He doesn't really have much political background, so it was surprising when he came into the race. Then over to Hillary, who is more politically immersed than Donald. She was a former Secretary of State, the First Lady, and she was a senator. So that's something that gives her an edge over him. So now we're going to tell a little bit about what we think, like our opinions of them. Donald Trump is vulgar, and he's kind of crude and sensitive. Hillary, she's kind of conniving, two-faced maybe. There's also been things that they could have been guilty of, but aren't for sure. So that's something you guys can always think about when deciding. Now, who could possibly be our next candidate? One that's a better choice. Dun da da da! Evan McMullin! You guys probably don't know much about Evan McMullin. Well, let me tell you. So here are the facts. He was a former Republican. He's the independent candidate right now, so he can go either a little bit into Democratic, but also Republican. He was a former CIA officer. He has his bachelor in law from BYU and a master's in business. He's also did some stuff in investment banking and did some stuff in the House Committee for Foreign Affairs. So why would you choose McMullin over Trump and Clinton? Well, one thing that I found interesting was a quote saying this election is about more than the White House. It's about the character of our nation. So if we think back to Trump and Clinton's characters, maybe they're not the best choices, whereas McMullin could be the better choice. He's been said to be a good person with a solid background. He's moral and he has good character, so maybe he's a better choice. You also get the best of both worlds with him because he has policies from both the Democratic side and the Republican side. He's not as experienced as Hillary, but he's more experienced than Donald, so there's kind of a middle ground there. My last question for you guys is, when you're faced with two bad choices, do you take a risk and choose the wild card? I don't know, it's up to you guys. So let me ask you guys, do you guys have any questions for me?
Who is winning in Utah?
Oh, so right now, Donald is beating Hillary, which is kind of interesting, but also not because he is the Republican candidate, and Utah tends to go more on the Republican side, which is more conservative.
Let's see. What was my question? So I've never heard of, what's his name?
Evan McMullin?
Yeah, like when did he come in the picture?
Oh, so actually he just came into the picture in August, the very beginning of August. So there was a quote that he said that he wants to do the right thing, and he thinks that the two candidates, the strong candidates that we have right now, isn't the best thing, so the right thing for our country would be to run. So he decided to run. Anyone else?
Who's first in the standings right now?
Overall, Hillary is beating Trump right now. So I guess that's something to think about when you're maybe wanting to see if Evan could even pull through. I think something that is big is if Utah wins and has McMullin, then that could have other states see that and maybe they'll want to vote for him as well. So if Utah takes it, then maybe he can go bigger. So is that all? Do you guys have any other questions for me?
So if he wins Utah, then he could actually have a chance?
Yeah, it's definitely like a slim chance, but if Utah, if he can take Utah, then yeah, he definitely has a chance. And I think it's cool that he just kind of came out of nowhere, but people should definitely know more about him. I think he's a cool guy and a good choice. But if you're feeling Donald or Hillary, then go with them. Yeah? Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening to me. Good night.